Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How is everyone doing
Hi.
today? Hey, hi, Ashley. Hello, hello. Hi, David. Hi, Cynthia. Okay. Welcome back to the ADPList and Notion original series on personal productivity and knowledge management. Myself, Utkarsh, Global Expansion Lead at ADPList, and I'm your host for tonight. Just like the last sessions, let's get started by rating our own Notion skills. You know the drill. And just to remind you, we would be rating ourselves from 1 to 5, where 1 is if you're very new to Notion, and 5 is if you feel like a pro. So let's get started in the chat. Okay, I can see a lot of new faces inputting it as 1, a couple of 3. David says 4,
Nice.
but that's a nice improvement, David. Okay, and just to add a little context for Roxana. So, Roxana, we have been doing this since session 1, I would say. And every session by session, I would say, so typically I like to analyze the chat. And after the session, I see what's the average like. And typically, it's been increasing every session. I would say the number of ratings has been decreasing. I guess people are feeling much more confident. They don't want to jinx it. But yeah, overall, anyone who has been responding, the overall rating has been increasing. So yeah, that's a little motivating for all of us. So let's get started with the
Yeah, it's good to hear.
yeah. Let's get started with today's session then. So we've had some amazing sessions with Tasia, Esteban, Sarah, and Islo. To wrap things up, Roxana will be joining us for the next 2 sessions. A very quick intro about her. Roxana is a designer, illustrator, and certified Notion consultant. She's also the founder of NotionFlows, a design consulting agency that assists global companies in optimizing their digital workspaces and workflows through the use of tools like Notion, Make.com, and Slack. Her goal is to empower clients in cultivating a positive company culture, emphasizing transparency, collaboration, and employee engagement through digital solutions. So please help me welcome Roxana on stage, and over to you, Roxana. Here we go.
Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. So I'm just gonna share my screen right now, and I'm gonna be doing everything in Notion. So hello everyone. Thank you for joining us on this session. And as you can see in my screen, everything will be in Notion for today. And I'm gonna be talking about effective note taking and information capture. So I'm gonna be going over how to employ strategy for effective note taking, how to use Notion's future like databases, templates, a couple of other blocks, and also how to organize information, how to capture information, so how to use extensions and a couple of other things. So to get started, thank you for the introduction. So it was very condensed. So I don't think I have to introduce myself a lot. So I'm just gonna do a quick intro. My name is Roxana Rodriguez, and like as I said, I'm a designer, illustrator, and Notion certified consultant, and I have a company called NotionFlows, which helps global companies with their workspace in Notion, doing automation, Notion websites, and everything now and then. So for today, we're gonna start about strategies. So a couple of strategies for effective note taking, in my opinion. So we're gonna talk about a couple of styles of note taking, incorporating color, pictures, and writing down things. So, for example, a couple of styles on how to take note. Um, it's gonna be the first one, the Cornell method. So, for example, this one is just imagine you having like a piece of paper, and in the piece of paper you divide it by two columns and one section below. In the right column over here, um, for this method, you will add like are your key ideas, important dates, diagram, everything. And then on your left side, you will have your cues, which are keywords or key questions that you would like to add. And then below over here, you have some summaries of your notes. So how can you do this style, this method in Notion, which is pretty easy. So in Notion, you have the ability to create a lot of things based on blocks. And these blocks, you do it when you click the slash command. And over here, you can see all the blocks that you can create in a Notion page. You have these blocks in 5 categories. So you have like the basic blocks, so text, uh, a, a page, a to-do list, a heading, etc. Then you have your Notion AI blocks, your medias, databases, and embeds. So for example, to get this method over here in Notion, what you can do is you can do a database. So for example, if you click the slash and you type database, you will find database inline. And here, you can, to make your life more easy, you can make a template. And a template in Notion means that you can reuse the structure um, multiple times. So how to do this is you go over here in Notion. Let me zoom in a little bit. You go here into this button, you click the arrow and you click new template and you write, let's say, Cornel note. And then below here, you will add the structure. So like I was talking about, you have 2 columns. So you do the slash and you type column. Here you can put keywords, do the slash and add like a divider. I didn't put the keywords. Okay, the 2 columns, but we can make, let's say, the note taken over here. And what other way to do columns in Notion is picking it over here in the 6 dots, dragging the block, and uh, making sure. Wait. Inside. Okay, dragging it over here and seeing this line in the middle. That means that it will create 2 columns, which is not. Uh, Let me do it over here. Keywords and note taken. Drag it. Hmm. It's strange. It's not doing. It's not working. But what I can do is I already have like the structure, so I'm just gonna copy paste it. Yeah, it should work. But I already have the structure, so I'm just gonna copy paste it over here. And we're just gonna imagine that this is working. I'm not sure why it's not working. But in a perfect world, you will have 2 columns over here, one for keywords and one for note taken, and then below the structure. And then when you go outside the template, you can create like another page, new note. You open the page in the database and you click the Cornel note template, and ideally it will have like the structure. So that's weird. So now it has the structure. Okay. So every time you have like a new note, you can quickly create a new page in the database and quickly apply the template over here. And you can start taking your notes in this Cornel style. So this is really good um, way because you don't have to spend a lot of time of building the structure again. You just need to click the template and right away start taking your notes. So that's the first way for you to take notes. The second way for you to take a note is the outline method, which means that you write the main topics at the top of the page over here, and underneath you put a list of bullet points for each subtopic and followed by keywords or key points. So over here, you just have to make sure that you categorize the topics correctly and organize it good, and use indentation and develop your own style and stick with it. So this is an example of how you can do it on paper, and how you can do it in Notion is quite simple as well. So here is a example how this will look in Notion. So you make use of the bullet points over here. So here you can see an example how Shakespeare would look like with this method. And here you can see a normal and a piece of paper. A tip, also a tip for when writing this in this style, is that in Notion you have the ability to create bullets quite fast. So if you press, for example, the plus and the space, it will create a bullet point. So you can quickly write a new topic. You press the space and then you press tab, and you can indent uh, the subtopics over here. So with this, you can create uh, more subtopics, and you can create a structure to create a note based on the style. All right. So this is the outline method, and the final method is like sentence, like just writing sentences. And this is pretty easy, which is just defining a topic and below writing the full sentence instead of creating bullet points. And Notion is pretty simple. You just create like a heading. You can do heading 1, 2, or 3, and then below a text. But just to give you a tip on how you can make this faster in Notion when you're taking notes. In Notion, you have also other shortcuts. So, for example, if you want to create a heading, you just press the number sign and then the space, and this creates a heading 1. If you press the number sign 2 times and then again a space, you create the heading 2, and then 3 number sign and space, you create the heading 3. So it's quite easy in Notion to take notes pretty fast with the shortcuts. If you get this template, this presentation, you can click here and it will take you to the official Notion page where you can see all the shortcuts. Because if you're going to be taking a lot of notes in Notion, it's going to be useful for you to take advantage of these shortcuts. Now we learn how to do bullets, and now we're learning how to do the heading. All right. So another thing, let me go back over here. So that's choosing like a style, a method of taking notes. Another tip is to incorporate colors and pictures in your note taking. So for example, over here, the good thing about using Notion, which is a digital note taking tool, is that it's much easier to integrate multimedia in your notes. And with multimedia, we don't only mean images, we can also do GIFs, video, and so forth. So, for example, you can go pretty crazy with GIFs and other multimedia. And for this, just like before, if you want to add something in the page in Notion, all you have to do is click the slash command and then type the block that you want to add. For example, you can do a video over here, embed it in your note. You can go as far as to, like, for example, go into Twitter go over here, copy the URL, go back to the node in Notion, and paste this tweet, and you can actually embed this block in your notes. You can do this with PDF, other websites, YouTube videos, everything that you can imagine. Just click on the slash command and go all the way to the section called media. Here you can see all the stuff that you can upload into your Notion. All right. Oh, and an extra tip for people that really like GIFs like I do, like I put GIFs all over my Notion workspace. In Notion, when you add the media block, so you do the slash and you add the media image block over here, you have the ability to upload images from your computer of embedded through internet, but also you have the ability to pick images or GIFs from these two different websites. So, for example, Giphy, you can come here and you can quickly pick the GIF that you want to add into your note, which it comes very handy because you don't have to switch from tools to do this. And then another thing that you can make use when taking notes in Notion or other digital tools is adding colors. So, for example, in Notion, you have the ability to write over here something. And if you want to highlight a specific section, you just click on the six dots over here, and you change the color background. And then you can highlight this. You can also do callouts to make something in the note stand out. So that's pretty easy to do. Always do the slash command and then write callout, and then you can create a callout. You can change the colors over here and type in what you want to write. You can go as far as to add like a call out inside a call out inside a call out and go crazy. We call it call out section and the ambassador chat. So adding colors, adding images into your notes, it's going to be very helpful because it will help you remember things better, and just it spice up your note. And the last tip for note taking that I want to leave you is to write it. So don't copy paste. So since you're gonna be using a digital tool like Notion, don't just copy paste in a whole article or a section of an article, but write it down in your own words because that's gonna help you remember what you're taking notes about. All right. So now that we go over here, now that we talked about choosing a style, incorporating color and picture, and writing it down, um, you just have to make sure to remember that these different methods, these different styles, these are some of the most popular ones, but there are other methods that you can try out. And always remember that it really depends on the context of what you're writing. So, and also on the type of things that you're taking note. So, for example, you could be doing a lecture, taking book notes or taking meeting notes. So it really depends on the context and what style do you want to take those notes on. Another thing that you have to keep in mind is your learning style. So if you are very visual, like I put images all over everything. I color my text because I'm a very visual person. So I like to do a lot of GIFs. But there are some people that are maybe more into audio or more into kinetics. So there are different learning styles, and you can incorporate different note taking style, um, and you can experiment to see which one you like. And as well, you have to keep in mind what you're gonna be doing with the notes that you're taking. Are you using it to study? summarize, or just to brainstorm something quickly. So depending on the context of your notes, you can also decide that. All right. So now that we dive, I gave you a couple of tips on how to take notes. Now is the fun part. We go into Notion, and we start by the first rule and the only rule that I always say to people is to use databases in Notion for notes. So over here, I'm seeing the chat. Got distracted. So yeah, I always use databases in Notion. It seems that most of the people here are kind of intermediate, kind of beginners. So when you're starting out, the first thing that you mostly do is start out with a page, but we always say use databases for taking notes, please. Why not single pages? Because even though single pages is a good start, uh, Notion has a lot of advantages when you use databases. So if you're a beginner, yes, try single pages, but once you get used to Notion, try to use databases because that's gonna help you build a better note-taking system in Notion that we're gonna be doing after this. And if you really like um, single pages, I don't recommend it. But um, but if you like really want it, you could. I think the only time that I would advise people to do single pages is if they are coming from another tool like Confluence, um, for example, where they have the hierarchy and the sidebar. So, for example, if you favor the page, so if you click over here in the top right, you have ability to favor the page. And then with single pages, when you open the pages over here, you can see the hierarchy of the pages, and which makes it easy to navigate. When you have like a page and you have a database, for example, this one, you cannot see the pages inside. You only see like the database views. So that's like the only exception that I would make for people to use pages. If you're not used to this hierarchy and you really want to take advantage of Notion, please use databases, because databases um, is where the magic is in Notion, because you can organize information and filter in a better way. You have the custom views. So, for example, this here is a database. You have the database in a table, board, timeline, calendar, list. So you can have different views of the database and different filters. You have relational data, which means you can relate two databases together and get more information out of it, and do linked databases with specific self-reference um, databases. Then you have templates, which is just creating the structure in a database and applying that structure every time you create a page, similar to what we did before. Then you have also the ability to do automation. We're not going to get into automation, but you have that ability. And scalability, which is, I think, one of the most important ones, because when you start making notes at first, it's a small amount, but over time, over years, you can have like a large amount of data. And if you don't start at the beginning organizing that data, it's going to be horrible in a couple of years from now. So that's why we use databases in Notion. And for the people that are new to Notion, we're going to go into databases and how to create your structure, your note taking system in Notion. So to start, I'm going to be going here. I'm going to build two databases. One is a database for a notebook, and another one is for a tag system. And how this will look like So if I go to over here, the template that I left you guys, we're gonna be making this template over here. So we have two databases. Here you're gonna see the tags, and here you're gonna see the database to add your notes. So let's go back and let's start building that database. So first, let's start with a page and call this note taken. You can add an emoji, add a cover, all the fun things. And then over here, you're gonna start expanding the page. So go over the top right and click full width to expand the page. And then we're gonna start with making the databases. So you press a slash command and you type database line. And again, database line. And this one is gonna be notebook, and this one's gonna be tags. And in the notebook, we're gonna be adding a couple of properties just to make this work. So you press the plus icon over here in the database to add multiple properties. And the properties, you can define them. And based on the properties that you create, you can define what type of database it is. So in this case, we're going to be making a notebook, but you can make databases for project management, for your personal diary, for your meeting notes. So you can give context to the database based on the properties that you will make. So for example, for this, I'm going to be making like a checkbox because I'm going to be using to pin specific notes that I want to keep highlighted. I'm also going to be creating a select property, which I'm going to have specific types of notes. I'm going to be creating another property for status. So I know what's the status of my property. And maybe a URL. And the last edit over here. And lastly, I'm going to rename this. I'm going to put it like this so I can see the names. And lastly, I'm going to do a relation property, and I'm going to relate the notebook with the tags over here, and I'm going to show over here. Now, if I go to the tags, let me delete this. Here, I will make a property. I'm going to add a checkbox so I can favorite, so I can pin my favorite tags. And I'm going to make a roll up. So come here, and a roll up is a way for you to view information of another database that you have linked. So for this example, since tags and notebooks are linked, I can pick here the relation, pick the notebook, and based on that, the name. But instead of displaying the name, I just want to see like count all to see how many notes I have in each tag. And I'm gonna rename this. I'm gonna say numbers of notes. And there, I have my um, two databases, and right now I'm gonna be creating the structure of it. So if you come here, right below, the first thing I want to do is create like a link database over here. And instead of a table, I want to make this a list view. And I can hide this over here. And this is gonna be all the tags. Let's say I'm gonna have a tag about Notion, Adobe, the list, and other tags. So you can imagine. And right over here, I'm gonna add another link view of the notes. So for this, I'm just gonna make 2 columns. I hope it works right now. Over here. And over here, I'm gonna create another link view. And this is gonna be my inbox. Do, do, do. And over here, I'm gonna make it a list view as well. And I only want to see and I'm gonna make a filter. So I only want to see the notes that I haven't processed yet. So I'm gonna go to the 3 dots over here. First, I'm gonna show the status. And I'm gonna pick also to see the tags. That's also good to see. And over here, I'm gonna filter it by status is not started, so haven't looked at these pages before. And then over here, I'm gonna make another view. So I'm gonna click the notebook again. And over here, I'm gonna make another list view of this database. And instead of filtered by the status, I'm gonna be filtered by the pin. So if I have like notes that I want to pin, I want to quickly have access to them over here. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna rename this to pin. Add a emoji over here. And over here, I'm gonna go into the properties and show the pin over here. So how does this work? Let's say I have a note over here, hello world, and this note is very, very important. So I pin it, and automatically it will be right over here. And in the inbox, it would be if I haven't looked at this note yet. So for example, I process this and this is done. Oops, over here. So only the new notes will come here, and then the notes that I want to highlight have um, in a quick view will come here. And here you will have all the text. Right. So now, why did I create 2 databases and why did I did a relation? Because in Notion you have the ability to create templates, and inside templates you can reference databases as well. So for example, let's say that I have all these nodes over here, and this one, the super special one, will go to the tag of Notion. Another cool node. This one will go to Notion as well. And I want when I open this tag page over here, I want the nodes to be visible over here. So what I can do is make the structure one by one in each page, or make a template. So for example, let me hide these properties. Always hide and create new tag over here. And icons, new tag. And in this page, I'm gonna be do the link view. So I'm gonna paste the link of the notes database over here. And I'm gonna turn this table into a list. I'm gonna hide the title. And over here, I'm gonna filter it by the template called new tag. And that's done. So now that I have the template, I don't have to make the structure all over again. So now if I go over here to the Notion tag and I click the template, automatically I will see all the notes that I have related to Notion. And since I also made a roll up, I can see how many notes I have in this tag. I can also make use of that roll up over here, go into the properties and show how many nodes I have in each tag. And that's how you make a quick, easy note-taking system in Notion. You make use of databases, you make use of templates, um, and you make use of the properties that you can create from them. Over here, since what we can do over here, I'm just gonna turn this into a page. And what I can do over here is have this, just put all and have like another view over here with status. So for example, if I want to have like a clear status of all the pages, I can just group them by the status over here, and I can quickly see which I haven't started, are in progress, or done. And here I can see all. And here you can see like a basic concept, a quick concept of a note-taking system. If you click on the template and the link in the chat, you can have the one that I created with a lot of time, more time for you guys, with a couple of more templates and with a better design. So this is kind of the structure that I was going for. So for example, I already made over here the new tag, and over here in the notebook database, I made a couple of templates for you guys based on the different note-taking styles that I talked about. So you can come here and you can click on this Coral node and it will show you like the structure, and you can quickly take your note based on the style. All right, so I'm just gonna go back to my presentation and see where we left off. So we already did the basic structure of the note taken. And now I'm gonna talk about a little bit on how to capture information into your Notion. So let's say you're looking at a YouTube video, an article on Medium, or another website. You want to take that article or that video into your Notion so you can later on review it and summarize it for your notes. One way to do this is copy pasting, but that's a lot of hard work. And another way is for you to add an extension into your browser. The one that I recommend is one called Save to Notion, which is a Chrome extension. So it should work with mostly all browsers. You add it to your browser, I already have it over here. And then what this extension looks like when you install it and you connect it to your Notion workspace. If I go into my browser, which it's called Arc, I can see here the extension. And how does this work? Let's say I have Medium, and I'm gonna go to Notion something. This one. How to use Notion day one. What you can do is, once you have installed this extension, you click on it, and over here you're gonna add like a new form. So for example, you come here, you're gonna select your workspace, and then you're gonna look for the database where you want this note, this article to be in your workspace. So let's say, I think I name it X. Yes, notebook. And then here you can pick if you want to add the same name of the title of the article into your Notion page. If you want the content, so the the content inside the page of your Notion, if you want it to be empty, or web content of the article itself. If you also want the main image to be inside the page, and then you go save and come back. You click on the form that you created, like the mini template, and you can save page. And this will quickly um, gather all the information, like all the text in the article, and put it into your Notion workspace over here. So all you have to do whenever you are browsing and you have an article that you like, click on the template and quickly click on the form that you created. So for example, over here you can see, oops, sometimes it doesn't work correctly, but most of the time it works pretty good. So for example, you can see all the text over here. One thing you can also do with this, let's say YouTube Ed Sheeran. You can, let's say you're taking a note, and this is gonna be like an important video about note taking, productivity, and everything like that. For me, it's gonna be Ed Sheeran. So you can pick the same widget over here, the extension, come over here, and you can make custom templates. So if you want to make a form for video, make a form for articles, etc. And I already created like my form in this extension. So for example, over here, I said I want to have the name. I'm just gonna pick this out. And inside, I want to have the video. And since I made like a type, I want this type to be also tagged as a video over here. So when I click the save, it will go into my Notion database. When I open it, I will have my video of Ed Sheeran over here, tagged by the type video, and I started. And this is, I really like this extension because it saves me so much time when doing this. So I highly recommend it to you guys. So in the link that I provided in the chat, you can have access to my presentation, the one I'm showing right now, and access to the template that I built previously. And over here, you can have the link to the Safety Notion extension. All right, let's go back to the presentation because we're missing just one final thing before we wrap up. And the final thing is gonna be QA, so AI and Notion. So QA is something that Notion introduced, I think, this week or last week. And it's a feature that is currently in beta. So not a lot of people have access to it. And why I like this feature a lot is because this feature, it looks at only your information in your workspace. And based on that information, if you ask it a question, it will tell you. And it's pretty good because the more information you add to your workspace, the more context it has to answer the question that you ask them better. So, for example, if I go here, I have it. I'm a beta user, so I have it installed. It's gonna be here on the top, on the bottom right. You click over here, and you can see the QA. So, a question I can ask this assistant in a way is, let's say, based on the information that is inside this workspace, write a bio about Roxana Rodriguez, which is me. So the assistant is gonna look over my whole workspace, and it's gonna read all the pages that I have access to, and based on those uh, pages and based on this information, it's gonna write a bio of me, which is kind of cool. So here you have it. And it's also gonna let you know where it's getting that information. So over here, I can quickly see that some of the information is coming from my presentation that I have in Notion, and the other one as well. So it's pretty good. I can click over here and it will take me right away where it has gathered that information. So this is just an example of how you can use this new feature, which currently is in beta. If you want to join the waiting list, I added the link over here. But just imagine what you can do with this. So if you have like information of a subject that you are taking a lot of notes, like productivity, design, maybe even your projects, like management, you can ask them like what projects are currently active, or based on the information that you gather from a specific design subject, give me like a summary or everything like that. And as I emphasized before, it only takes information that is inside your workspace and you have access to. So the information is gonna be very curated to you, which I really love. And yeah, that's about it. Give Notion QI a try if you have it. If not, join the waiting list. And thank you for taking the time with me and spending time to learn about note taking in Notion, learn about the different note taking style, and how to make use of databases in Notion, templates, and properties.
Thanks a lot, Roxana. This was a lovely session, I would say. And I can already see a lot of positive responses in the chat. So, yeah, thanks a lot for that. Let's start taking up a couple of questions that we have in the Q&A box. In case you have a question and you have not yet added, feel free to add your question in the Q&A box and we'll start taking them now. Okay, so the first one is about a keyboard shortcut actually. Can you please show the keyboard shortcut for creating a bullet?
It's the plus sign. Let me see if I can quickly share my screen. It's the plus sign and then present the space key. Let me share my screen quite a bit. The good thing is we are in Notion. The whole thing, the presentation is in Notion, so I can just share the screen. So you 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 add like a plus sign and then you add a space. You can also do it with a minus space and with another one, but I forgot. But in the presentation, you have like the other key.
Okay, thank you. The next one is from Shushant. The question is, I have attention issues with Notion layout. Is it possible to make it structure like boxy theme or some way it looks like OneNote or Google Keep?
I have no idea how those two apps look, but yes, you can make it boxy, I think. So if I go to my note taking over here, I hope no one duplicates the template because this is actually the template. You can make like a call out and make the call out transparent, add it over here. Uh, I think you can create like structures. I think this is what you mean. If not, let me know that you can create like the structure of it.
Yeah, I guess this should be because I use Google Keep. So I guess, yeah, this is what the person was trying to ask. Okay, let's
If not,
head
let me
on.
know.
Yeah, for sure. In case if this does not clarify or doubt, Shushan, please let us know in the chat here and we will take it up again. The next app is from Ashley. The question being, once you have created a notes page and you want to share it with others, will it share the whole workspace or will it only show the pages you want to show?
It depends. So in Notion, you have different ways to share. So for example, if you have a page here, your private section, let's say called Hello World, and you want to share this page, you can quickly come over here and you can type the name of the person that you want to share with and give them like different type of access, full access, edit, content, and view. Let's say edit, and quickly this page will come here into your share section, which means that my brother and I are the only people that have access to this page. Another way that you can do it is, for example, let's say you have a page over here, random page. You can do the same thing. Um, but right now, this page over here, everyone has access to it. So you have to restrict the access to everyone here in the workspace. No access. And then invite the person that you want to add into this page. So this is one way to share a page. Another way is if the person is not in your workspace and you want invited as a guest. So for example, you can go over here and I'm not sure. I'm just gonna add like a random name over here, Gmail. And when I add the name of a person over here and I invite him, he's gonna come into this page as a guest. So he will need to create like a Notion account and he will only have access to this page. And the last way that you can share a page is coming over here and put it in share to public, which means that it's being it's the space is being visible to the whole web. You can come here to copy the link and give it to someone. And when someone comes, he will see the content in this page.
Okay. And okay, let's go to the next one then. The next one is from Tommy. The question is the Q&A feature that we just saw at the end of the slides. Do you think you could get project status reports from it if you have project and task databases?
I'm not sure. I haven't tried it. I think I can give you like the. I think if you can ask the AI to be very specific, for example, look at the project database and tell me how many projects have the status active or in progress. I'm sure it can give you like a number, but I haven't tried it. So after this call, I'm just gonna try it for myself and see. But I'm not sure. But I think I can.
Okay, thank you. Uh, then the next one is regarding templates from Maria. The question being, can you use charts that comes in shared templates?
I don't understand charts. Uh,
Okay, maybe let's skip to the next one. And if Maria's there, Maria, if you can please add a comment. What do you mean specifically by charts here? Okay, let's go to the next one. So this is regarding the AI feature. Does the AI recognize information that is linked to the pages?
information you mean outside of Notion? I believe not, because it only has access to the information that is inside your Notion workspace. So for example, if you add like an embed like a PDF, I'm not sure if it's gonna read it because it's an embed, it's not native in Notion. uh so I will have to try it. The feature's in beta right now, so a lot of people are testing it. It's kind of new, so I'm not sure very much about it, but I just wanted to show you guys what you can do with it.
Okay, let's take the next one. This one is from Sedar, and this is, if we have a master database and we embedded this database in another one view, if we share that new view, can the person also see the items in the master database?
Yeah, depends. If the other person have access to the master database, he will be able to see the database. If not, so for example, let's go over this over here. So let's say this is like a link view, like a link database over here. I come here and I paste it into another page over here, and I link this database view, and I invite a person to this page. If this person doesn't have access to this database, he won't be able to see it. He's not gonna see anything. But if you give the person access to this page called Hello World, and also access to this original database over here, then when you give an access to the specific page, he will be able to see the linked database. If he doesn't have access to the original database, he won't be able to see this linked database over here.
Okay. Thank you, Roxana. And I believe that was the last one for today. So thanks again, Roxana, for joining us today and looking forward to the session on Friday.
All right. Thank you guys for coming, and see you on Friday.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks. Thanks a lot, everyone, for joining us today. See you at the same time on Friday, where we will learn about knowledge management and we'll be wrapping up the series. Till then, just like every other time, connect with fellow learners in the networking launch and share your learnings on socials. Thanks again. Have a great week and see you on Friday. Bye.